So some of you said I should play Red Dead Roleplay after my previous attempts at regular online. And to be honest, I thought that would be a great idea. I used to play a lot of Arma 3 roleplay back in the day, so surely it'll be the same sort of experience, right? The first server I hopped into after installing Red M was Imperium RP. I set about creating my character, and to fit my rather obvious British voice, I thought I'd stick to roleplaying an English gentleman who came to America to find adventure. Dead simple premise, some backstory may be required. You'll see that most of these RP servers have the exact same character creation screen, but I can't get over how weird these characters look. Borderline nightmare fuel. Also, why is my character full chub right now? Is this a kink? Is this a sex thing? Anyway, I've created my character, and I think he looks smashing. Now that's done, we get to choose where we spawn, and I figured arriving in Syn County by boat would be appropriate for my British character. I started by having a wander around, checking out the bulletin board, which is actually used by players, which I thought was cool, and then I figured I'd best buy a gun to protect myself.
Lad, are you dumb? Are you getting rude to man? Push you!
And then eventually, I decided to do some delivery missions to get me out and about in the world to try and find people to interact with. Now, where have I seen this gameplay before?
Bored.
Ah well, I know it's a little boring, but it earns me some cash, and I get to explore the world by doing it. After travelling just about the whole east side of the map, I finally arrive in Valentine. Surely there will be people to talk to here, right? Now, just for context, at the time of playing, there was supposedly at least 60 people online, and I would have thought at least one would be in Valentine. I sat in town for a while, contemplating life and this broken horse. I strolled down to the general store to check out what they have. I can buy a whole piano for $40. Why? What possible reason could I
need you to subscribe to the Retro Today YouTube channel, cause that would be really swell, or you go to hell.
Anyway, let's check out what this is. Oh, it's a job. Okay, cool. Let's try it out. So we get over here, pick up a plank of wood, and then start the construction. I see. Well, if I couldn't complete a task properly like that, then I'd probably just go limp too. This is actually deceptively hard. This is like the world's simplest Guitar Hero. All that to hammer a single nail, and we fix the hitching post. Back again to pick up some lumber. Surely I can speed this up.
Replay, look at this.
No, we have to walk awkwardly while awkwardly holding this plank. I did this for way too long, but I didn't realize you had to stop doing the job in order to get paid. It wasn't a set amount. So what did I get for all that long hard work? $6.25 with 1 microcent. My god, have I been transported back into normal Red Dead Online? All the while I was doing that job, still not one person arrived in town. I still wandered around checking out other points on the map, but still just ended up sitting on this bench for a while before getting eaten by it. I decided to give hunting a go, so I got my rifle and headed out into the wilderness. After shooting a couple of things and falling down a mountain, I ran back to town to hand in what I'd got, and got a whopping $2.41. At this point, I'd had enough, so I decided to try another server. I logged into Syn County next, and once again created my character where it spawned me in Tumbleweed on the arse end of the map. I checked my inventory and found these. What even are these? Have they built in a trading card game into their server? Whatever, not interested. I go buy a horse and ride to the nearest civilization. Outside McFarlane's ranch, I find what I thought to be players, but they appear to be some sort of free-range NPCs just standing around. Weird. Anyway, I continue on to Blackwater and stable my horse, but I couldn't find anyone. Just loads of these signs around posted for businesses, which is really a terrible way of doing player shops. They look so bad and they just spam the map. I wander around, find some dead horses, but not a single living soul. So I left to head on up to Syn County, the biggest city. So surely there had to be some people. After about 20 minutes of riding, I get into town, and then my game crashes. 10 out of 10, would RP again. I log back in, go to the gun store, and pick a few things up. Still not finding a single soul on the way, punch my horse because I forget the PC controls constantly, then crash once again. At this point I think Syn County is cursed, so I just beeline it out the city once I'm back in again. Next stop, roads. Once again, still a dead town. My last option, the town of Valentine. As I ride into town, I see what would indicate to me life. I ride into the center, and what do I finally find? Players. I hitch up my horse and wander down, only there's something wrong. I can't hear anyone talking. This server uses the in-game voice chat system, and mine's configured correctly so I could talk, but I couldn't hear anyone for some reason. All that time I had spent trying to find people, and I can't even fucking talk to any of them because the game's chat system is bugged, and this remained the case after I relogged and everything. Needless to say, I'm pissed and logged out. Goldrush RP was my next destination, and so I log in, read the rules, start creating my character. However, this server decided that it didn't like me after some time, and I just couldn't interact with any of the menus or anything after about 5 minutes of creating my character. I relogged to try again, but still locked me out after 5 minutes. I decided not to bother with this one. Forgotten Trails was the last massively populated server for me to jump on, so once again I created a character and spawned in Blackwater, which had this cool intro bit where you're on the boat sailing in and it gives you tips on how the game works, which I appreciated a lot actually. After we docked, I walked into town, bought my horse, and went straight for Valentine. Here, I found people, and I could hear them. Thank God. I wandered around a bit, had someone try and offer me a pig.
I'll make some mass black bacon. 3-star Berkshire pig.
I'm alright.
Rufus, I call him Baconer.
I'm alright, thank you. And I went looking for interactions, but as it turns out, it would find me.
Excuse me, sir. Strapping young man.
Yes?
You wouldn't have to be busy, would you?
No. What seems to be...
Can we use you for something?
What's going on, fella?
Sure.
Can you hop off the horse, please? Perfect. Thank you so much. We're gonna take you hostage.
Oh. Okay.
And it'll be fun. You won't die, I promise.
Alright, what's going on?
It'll be a good time.
I then spend a good 10 minutes of being ridden around on the back of this horse as a hostage, eventually leading us to Rhodes, where I am placed in a bank, and I witnessed the strangest bank heist I've ever seen.
I was just gonna do free passage and we all just run out. Cause I don't like horse lineups.
I mean, it don't have to be a lineup. Just tell them to start backwards. We can just run out anyway.
Hey mate, come on in the bank. Come on in the bank. You wanna stand outside of it? Come
Get
on
here,
in.
mate.
Come on in, mate.
Get
Come on.
the fuck in the bank.
Come on, mate. Come on in. Just pop a squat right next to him. We won't tie you up. Keep your hands up. Turn around.
Hello there. Straight
Hello
started with the
there.
Marshal Service.
Ain't nobody ask your name, boy.
You
would
Start the
Get
morning
this
to you.
trainee out of here.
Don't be talking to my boy like
How
that.
many,
Get the trainee out of here.
how many
I'm
suspects we got in there?
Well, we got 3. We got 3 of us.
How many hostages?
We got 2.
Dos.
2 hostages? 3 of you and 2 hostages?
Sí.
Well, I just wanted to make
Alright.
a goddamn.
There's a lot of you outside right
who
now.
is it?
More than
I
there should be.
have one question for you there, gentleman, right here by the door. What's your name?
How can I help you?
Or what can I call you by?
You can call me Mr. Nobody, sir. Mr. Nobody it'll be.
Mr. Nobody, alright. How much time you need in there?
Just give us a couple minutes, you know.
Man, we
Minutes,
just
alright.
started.
We'll have
Alright,
some
alright.
speedy arrivals, speedy arrivals.
We're missing
Alright,
them.
can I
How many
speak to
of
the...
you are there? How many of you are
We only
there?
have 4.
4 of us out here.
They just left because y'all said there was too many.
Why is this bank heist so organized and friendly? It's so weird. There's no shootout, no grand escape. It's just like these gang members and marshals are way too friendly with each other. Like, I get there are rules for RP game modes, but this just makes it so cringe almost. I remember in Arma 3 there were like full-blown shootouts and wars with the rebel factions on the servers I played.
Ooh, you're hard, showing off.
After 15 minutes of being a hostage and just lying on the floor listening to the heist, the gang members just walk out, drop me off in front of the bank, and they can just go. It's almost like the marshals had given them a head start to escape, otherwise it would be unfair. I think my reaction to this event really sums it up. The fuck just happened? I carried on the server for a while, regardless of the weird RP situation. However, when I logged in since this encounter, I once again had this weird issue where I could only hear certain people, but not others. I actually posted in the Syn County Discord thread about this issue because I had it on their server as well. However, when I checked to see if anyone had answered it, I was completely ignored. Cool. So because of that, I couldn't really talk to most people, but I decided to try and work solo and see if I could do something on this server. I bought a tent and a campfire to make a sort of base, and I chose this lovely peak, put down my wonky tent and campfire, and I can see I can craft at the fire. We're getting somewhere. It seems I can only craft basic items here, which makes sense. I guess it scales with levels or some sort of system. I flick through the menu and see I can make a pipe. Just needs 2 wood, 1 clay and 2 copper. Sounds fine. I imagine gathering is a similar situation to Armor 3. Get the tools, go to an area, and gather. Fine. So I head back into town, pick up some tools from the general store, but they don't sell any. In fact, the player-ran general store is empty, so fat lot of good they were. I'll run to the blacksmith. Looks like they have 2 tools and some biscuits available. Why the fuck does the blacksmith sell biscuits? Alright, I'll go to Blackwater and try and find some there. On my way there, I came across some wolves, which shouldn't be a problem. Oh damn, okay. I wait for a doctor to come and rescue me, then I make it over to Blackwater. Now in Blackwater, let's check out the general store. Alright, so they only sell food. Where the fuck can I buy tools? I'm purely assuming that I need tools in order to gather these items, but there's no information on how these systems work. There's nothing in their Discord, or anything that can help new players understand how to gather, how to open a shop, or anything like that. And because my bloody voice chat doesn't work, I can't ask anyone either. I'm losing patience with this. I just can't be bothered with all this clueless riding around. So I did look into some other servers, but so many of them require you to fill out questionnaires, forms, and whitelist applications, which I get. It's a good way to filter out the riffraff, but some of them want you to spend literally a whole day constructing a backstory and motives for your character. I don't want to spend all that time writing something out for a game. I just want to jump in and play, only for some jumped up admin to say, "You haven't put in enough detail, your application was denied." They also organize these exam level questionnaires of what the rules are and make you basically rewrite them to prove you understand them. Again, it's so fucking long. Also, the requirement that these servers have where you have to join their Discord in order to join sucks. I hate it so much. I'm pretty sure they only want that so they can bloat their numbers and say that they're a popular Discord. But Christ, I'd be somewhat okay with it if you didn't spam me with @here messages every hour of every day. I can't even mute some of them. It's driving me insane. Whoever said this experience of roleplay servers is better than the standard servers, I'm starting to think you might be wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm just out of touch with this particular scene. As I said, I had a blast with Armor 3 roleplay, but I guess it's a different audience, different gameplay elements. I just figured that my experience in those servers would be the same in Red Dead, as it's essentially the same thing, live an alternate life in this universe or setting. So Red Dead RP, is it for me? Nah. Should you try it? It's up to you really. I'll say it again, but those of you who said roleplay servers are better than the regular online, it's just not the case for me. Who knows, maybe you'll have a better time with it. That is if you can find a server worth going on that isn't dead or happy to spend a good hour or two constructing a character to apply for a whitelisted server. But for me, I'm not going to bother any further. It's either too different to the roleplay servers I'm used to, broken, or just empty, like the official servers I was on. I know I'm probably going to get eaten alive by some of these comments, like, you didn't play for long enough, you didn't give these servers a chance, and you know what? You might be right. If I just sunk in another 10 or 20 hours into a server on the off chance the interactions I get are better than what I got, then yeah, but somehow I doubt it. I couldn't even get interactions on most of them because the fucking game's voice chat breaks every 5 minutes. But what do you think? Are there better servers that aren't listed on Red M that could give me a better experience? What are some of your experiences with Red Dead RP servers? Let me know in the comments below, I'd love to hear what you have to say. If you enjoyed this content and want to see more, hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content. If you'd like to see me look at anything specific, leave me a comment and let me know. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.